There comes a time in every man's life when he begins to question his worth, not in terms of money, muscles, or material possessions, but in silence, in solitude, when no one is watching. That's when he asks himself, am I truly a man of value? The truth is, most men are living in quiet desperation, scrolling endlessly, chasing validation, begging for attention from women who wouldn't even notice them if they walked past them on fire. But then, there's a different kind of man, a rare breed. A man who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't bend. He radiates power and stillness. His presence alone commands attention. This man isn't perfect. He's not always the tallest in the room or the richest. But what sets him apart is that he knows who he is, and he acts from purpose, not from need. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, people listen. He doesn't try to impress, but women remember him long after he's gone. This is what it means to be a high-value man, a man shaped by discipline, forged in adversity, and guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. And guess what? You don't have to be born this way. You can become this man. Starting today, in this video, you're going to discover the 6 powerful signs that you are, or are becoming, a high-value man that women can't resist. Not because you're trying to impress them, but because you've become so grounded, so unshakably confident that your very existence leaves a mark. So buckle up. This isn't fluff. This is transformation. And if you stay until the end, you won't just understand what makes a man truly valuable, you'll feel it in your bones. Let's dive in. Signs 1. You embrace stillness over chaos. In a world addicted to noise, distraction, and meaningless chatter, the man who can remain calm amidst the storm stands out like a lighthouse in a hurricane. High-value men don't seek drama. They don't overreact. They don't explain themselves to gain approval. Why? Because they understand a simple yet powerful Stoic truth. You cannot control external events, only your response to them. When a woman sees a man who's grounded, unshaken by life's waves, she feels something primal. Safe, intrigued, even mesmerized. Because while most men react to every text, every stare, every rejection, the high-value man remains silent. Not because he doesn't care, but because he doesn't need to prove anything. This stillness is cultivated. It's trained. It's built through hardship, discipline, and inner work. It's choosing to breathe deeply when others panic. It's choosing patience when others demand urgency. In dating, this shows up when a woman tests you, emotionally, verbally, or physically. Most men fail. They fold. They chase harder. But the high-value man, he smiles and waits. Because he knows that time reveals truth, and his self-worth isn't up for debate. You don't chase her. You don't blow up her phone. You don't beg for closure. You remain present, focused on your mission. That's irresistible. Stillness is not weakness. It's power in its purest form. When you master it, you become a man who women want to follow, not because you shouted, but because you stood still when the world was burning. Stillness is your armor. Cultivate it. Signs 2. You live by principles, not emotions. While the average man is led by lust, fear, and insecurity, the high-value man lives by unshakable principles. He doesn't bend to please others. He doesn't flip-flop just to keep a woman around. He's anchored, like a mountain in a storm. This isn't about being cold. It's about being clear. You see, when a woman meets a man who knows exactly what he stands for, whether it's honesty, discipline, integrity, or loyalty, she instantly feels respect. Why? Because most men are afraid to set boundaries. They fear losing her more than losing themselves, not you. If your principle is, I don't tolerate disrespect, then you walk away the moment it happens, not with rage, not with threats, but with calm certainty. And that hits different. Women might test you, they might push, but when they realize you're not bluffing, when your actions match your words, they start to admire you. Because you're rare, because you can't be controlled by beauty or seduced by drama. And Stoicism teaches this: your character is your fate. The choices you make today shape the man you become tomorrow. If you sacrifice your values for short-term pleasure, you lose in the long run. So when you live by principle, you don't just win women, you win your own self-respect. And that energy is magnetic. Stop being emotionally manipulated. Start being morally grounded. That's when you become untouchable. Signs 3. You pursue purpose over pleasure. Let me say this clearly. Women are not your mission. Your purpose is. A high-value man doesn't wake up wondering who's texting him, who likes him, or who ghosted him. He wakes up with a fire in his belly to create, to build, to conquer his goals. That's the kind of man who naturally draws people, especially women, to him. Why? Because purpose is powerful. It radiates strength. It shows that you're not chasing meaningless highs. You're building something meaningful. Women can sense this. When she feels you're more excited about your vision than her body, it challenges her. It makes her curious. She begins to wonder, what is it about this man that he doesn't need my validation? And that curiosity turns into attraction. Stoicism teaches us to master desire, not be mastered by it. Marcus Aurelius didn't say, chase pleasure. He said, do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others. Translation? Stay in your lane. Focus on your purpose. This doesn't mean you ignore women. It means you don't orbit around them. You build a life so rich, so compelling, that women want to be part of it, not the center of it. So whether your purposes are starting a business, writing a book, becoming stronger, or seeking wisdom, pursue it with obsession. Because when your life is on fire with meaning, women will come, not to save you, but to be lit by your flame. Purpose first, everything else follows. Signs 4. You're comfortable being alone. Here's a hard truth. Most men can't stand their own company. They jump from distraction to distraction, Netflix, social media, meaningless flings, just to avoid the silence of being alone. But the high-value man, he thrives in solitude. He's not lonely, he's focused. He uses that time to think, to train, to grow. That's why he walks differently, talks differently, feels different. Women feel it too. A man who doesn't need anyone, who's happy dining alone, working alone, traveling alone, is a man who's not desperate. He's dangerous because he can't be manipulated with attention or intimacy. He's whole on his own. Psychologically, this signals abundance. It tells her, I choose you, but I don't need you. And that's intoxicating. Stoicism reminds us, happiness depends on ourselves. You don't need a crowd. You don't need a girlfriend to validate your worth. You need to master your own mind. Aloneness is where you become mentally sharp, emotionally tough, and spiritually deep. It's where you meet your real self without filters, masks, or performance. So if you're spending time alone, don't fight it. Embrace it, use it, grow from it. Because when you become the man who enjoys his own silence, your presence becomes gold in a world full of noise. And women will notice, trust me. Signs 5, you command respect without begging for it. There's a quiet, lethal energy in a man who respects himself so deeply that he doesn't tolerate disrespect from anyone. Friends, strangers, or women. That's power, not loud, not aggressive, just solid. High-value men don't demand respect. They earn it through how they move, how they speak, how they respond when challenged. Imagine this. A woman throws a sarcastic insult your way, expecting you to laugh it off or chase her harder. But instead, you pause, look her dead in the eye, and calmly say, that's not how I talk to people I respect. Then you walk away. Boom! That's impact. Why? Because most men fear confrontation. They fear upsetting her, but not you. You're not afraid to lose her if it means keeping your dignity. That's rare, and rare is magnetic. Stoicism teaches us to be indifferent to insults, to stay centered regardless of others' opinions. When you stop needing approval, you become immune to rejection, and that confidence speaks louder than any pickup line. Respect starts with you. If you don't hold yourself to high standards, no one else will. So stop apologizing for having boundaries. Stop explaining your worth. Instead, live in a way that makes people take you seriously without saying a word. That's when you go from being liked to being respected. Sign 6, You lead with logic, not insecurity. In every interaction, especially with women, there's a subtle battle between emotion and logic. The low-value man is driven by insecurity. He overthinks, overreacts, overexplains. He's always trying to fix things out of fear. But the high-value man, he leads with logic, clarity, and calm dominance. Not arrogance, presence. He doesn't say sorry every 5 minutes. He doesn't ask, "Are you mad at me?" He observes, listens, and responds with intention. That's leadership, and women crave it. Why? Because leadership signals safety. It shows her that in a crisis, you won't fall apart. You'll rise. This doesn't mean you suppress emotion. It means you own it, understand it, and choose your response with wisdom, not desperation. Stoicism is built on this very principle. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So next time she tests you, throws shade, or goes silent, don't panic, don't spiral, sit back, breathe, respond with strength. Let her feel the difference between a boy who reacts and a man who leads. Insecurity is noisy. Logic is silent power. Choose wisely.